this country. These were what we want to say, the European immigrants. All right, so in many ways they were brought to work, right? In some ways to replace or to kind of beat over the newly freed black persons who definitely had work skills, right? Of course they had the occupational skills. They were doing all the work when they were chattel slaves, all right? So if you were to ask someone who was of Italian, right, white Italian or white Polish ancestry, and tell them, when did your parents come here? When did your family first come here? They're likely to give you some years, 20s, 30s. You know, the average person of color who is an immigrant or whose family migrated, and, you know, they're not, what you say, Black American, more than likely they're going to give you a later date, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. All right, so yes, that was part of the civil rights movement that said, oh, okay, how about this immigration thing, right? How about some of the immigrants, because it's a larger world, why are we just bringing in immigrants from, you know, Western Europe, who might not have had full white privileges if you want to really dig into colorism, all right? Many Italians struggled with the racial slurs, Italians, Irish, they were like secondary whites, right? But it was always understood that, you know, they were above black, right? If you're familiar with any of the Godfather movies, that's a good one to watch to understand racism, right? They often spoke about, you know, the colors and the blacks, and, you know, we don't want these drugs to enter our neighborhoods, but we'll keep it with the blacks, right? That was an actual line. But in that movie, the lead family, right, the Corleones, you know, his daughter marries marries a white man, and he's calling her all types of racial slurs, right? Italian racial slurs, right? So there's a gradient there as well. This idea that Southern Europeans, maybe a little bit browner, right? But still that, you know, opportunity to marry up is, you know, greater for that type of Southern European. So let's try to marry someone who's blonde and blue eyes. Let's have that preference. All right, so there's a colorism game that was being played within the white populations as well here in the United States. But for sure, yes, Black Americans definitely fought for color, immigration.